US lawmaker fingers President Tinubu makes shocking revelation on buying of Christians in Nigeria. US lawmaker representing West Virginia's 2nd District in Congress, Rep. Riley Moore, has introduced a resolution condemning the atrocities Christians are facing in Nigeria and supporting President Donald Trump to defend Christians in the country. The news guru TR0UBLE reports Rep. Moore confirmed introducing the resolution in Nigeria on Friday along with 20 of his colleagues and 55 international organizations that endorsed the resolution. The resolution cited by TR0UBLE fingered Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu while insisting that, contrary to the position of the Nigerian government, the attacks are not random or merely intercommunal but deliberate campaigns of religious cleansing. According to Moore, between 50,000 and 100,000 Christians have been martyred for their faith since 2009, with more than 7,000 Christians died in 2025, an average of 35 Christians murdered every day, and over 19,000 churches attacked or destroyed. Whereas, despite assertions that such violence arises from general instability rather than specific targeting of Christians, when adjusted for population sizes in various states, Christians in Nigeria are being killed at a rate at least 5 times higher than that of Muslims. The resolution reads, Moore accused the Nigerian government in the resolution of repeatedly failing to respond to early warnings of impending attacks and that federal and state authorities routinely deny the existence of religious persecution, despite overwhelming documentation to the contrary. Mr. Moore of West Virginia submitted the following resolution in the House of Representatives, condemning the persecution of Christians in Nigeria and standing ready to support President Donald J. Trump in taking decisive action to end the existential threats that persecuted Christians face in Nigeria. Whereas Nigeria is experiencing the highest level of violence against Christians in the world since Boko Haram's insurgency began in 2009. Whereas Boko Haram, the Islamic State's West African province, ISWAP, and Fulani militants have systematically targeted Christian communities through massacres, church burnings, kidnapping and sexual violence, leaving villages destroyed and millions displaced. Whereas estimates indicate that between 50,000 and 100,000 Christians have been martyred for their faith since 2009, with more than 7,000 Christians died in 2025, an average of 35 Christians murdered every day, and over 19,000 churches attacked or destroyed. Whereas in Benue and Plateau State alone, more than 9,500 people, mostly Christians, were killed between May 2023 and May 2025 by Fulani militants, while more than half a million were displaced from their homes. Whereas these attacks are not random or merely intercommunal, but deliberate campaigns of religious cleansing as demonstrated by coordinated assaults during Christian holidays such as the 2022 Pentecost Massacre, Christmas Eve 2023 Massacre, and the Holy Week 2025 mines that claimed hundreds of Christians' lives. Whereas despite assertions that such violence arises from general instability rather than specific targeting of Christians when adjusted for population sizes in various states, Christians in Nigeria are being killed at a rate at least 5 times higher than that of Muslims. Yes, no lies detected. Whereas countless pastors and priests have been kidnapped, tortured or murdered, yes, with over 250 clearly attacked or killed in the past decade, including the recent tragedy of Father Sylvester Okechukwu, who was kidnapped and murdered on Ash Wednesday in 2025. Whereas the Nigerian government has repeatedly failed to respond to early warnings of impending attacks such as the October 14, 2025 massacre in Wachas Village, Plateau State, where a pastor's warning of a Fulani offensive was dismissed by the Nigerian army, who publicly condemned the pastor for disseminating fake news and accused him of stoking division, and at least dozens Christians were killed the next day. Whereas Nigerian federal and state authorities routinely deny the existence of religious persecution, with President Bola Tinubu stating in September 2025 that there is no religious persecution in Nigeria, despite overwhelming documentation to the contrary, with all the evidences on ground that are saying there is no religious persecution. Whereas even after President Donald Trump announced his decision to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, on October 31, 2025, President Tinubu stated the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, despite the reality that more Christians are being killed in Nigeria than the rest of the world combined. Whereas Nigeria is one of only 7 countries in the world that retains a blasphemy law carrying the death penalty enforced in 12 northern states under Sharia criminal law, and enforces other blasphemy laws as well, which have been used to imprison and threaten Christians, minority Muslims, and other dissenters, whereas Christian believers such as Rhoda Jatal and Deborah Yakubu have faced mob violence. You see that these people, they've done their homework, imprisonment, and even murder for alleged blasphemy, while perpetrators of such crimes against blasphemy accused individuals often go unpunished, just so they used to walk away free. Whereas these blasphemy laws and mob violence have been condemned by the United Nations, the European Parliament, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Court of Justice, as grave violations of international human rights laws and religious freedom norms. Whereas in 2020 and again in 2025, President Donald J. Trump designated Nigeria as a CPC under the International Religious Law Act, Freedom Act of 1998, unlocking tools for sanctions and other diplomatic measures against the government of Nigeria in response to severe violations of religious freedom. Whereas the Biden administration in 2021 decision to remove Nigeria from the CPC list has coincided with a marked escalation in violence and persecution against Christians. Whereas the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, USCIRF, has recommended Nigeria's designation as a CPC every year since 2009, citing ongoing egregious and systematic violation of religious freedom, and whereas continued silence from the global community only emboldens the radical Islamic terrorists, and the moral voice of the United States must be raised on behalf of persecuted Christians in Nigeria. Yes, so thank you. Please, and you people should come fast. Marcelo says Nigerian government are terrorists because they always want to silence and buy anyone that says truth to power. Yes. Jeffrey says no one is smarter than God. Those who are for us, fighting for us, are more than those who are against us. Yes, so Leon says we have been praying for long. Answer to prayers. Peter says Nigerians welcome international help from Americans. Of course we have welcomed this. It's only the terrorists that don't want to welcome it. Oyo Mojo says in Sokoto, a student called Deborah was mercilessly murdered for alleged blasphemy against Islam. Yes, they mentioned it. Even the rally mentioned it. These people, they know they've done their assignment, they've done their findings, and they know exactly what is going on. So, my listeners, don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.